This video contains spoilers on Better Call Saul up through and including the Season 5 premiere. Please be warned, the spoilers are about to begin.
I'm just worried about how this reflects on you.
You know what? When you're right, you're right.
I would choose my next words very carefully if I were you.
Has anybody been asking about me? You know, I mean, like any customers come to the store looking for me?
What am I doing cutting prices? Discount is a desperation move.
You keep your goddamn retainer.
Wait here. I can't promise anything, but I'll look into it.
Sure. You can do that.
Kim, I can't go back to being Jimmy McGill.
I honestly thought the Season 5 premiere was one of the best episodes in the entire series. Perhaps even the best. Starting with Kim Wexler, I still think this moment from the Season 4 finale represented the moment of clarification where Kim basically knew she had no future with Jimmy.
Yeah, did you see those suckers? That one asshole was crying. He had actual tears. Jesus, Kim.
Now Kim's displaying amplified fears that Jimmy may have reached the point where he is beyond repair. Kim rejects the idea of conning a client when Goodman suggested such. But Saul was already on the hustle, perhaps unbeknownst to Kim, perhaps not. But she ultimately winds up using his exact con to the letter. She then becomes visibly distraught with guilt and/or shame. Is she guilty that she helped shape Jimmy into Goodman? Or is she guilty because she sometimes exhibited the characteristics of a hypocrite on this front? Or is this more a matter that she fears Goodman is poisoning her quicker than she can heal him? At times, Kim has seemed to enjoy hustling with Jimmy, but she only seems to enjoy this when it's on her own terms. She orchestrated all of Jimmy's moves when he was hanging out by Chuck's grave all day in her quest to improve his image. So she's okay with crossing that moral line in the sand when she feels like it. She sometimes encourages this behavior in Goodman, and other times she tries to dissuade him. Mixed signals. And even now, as she just executed the con he quickly thought up on the fly, Kim is now conflicted over this line herself, or so it appears. It's difficult to discern which side of that line Kim ultimately falls on, because I think she's not just giving mixed signals to Goodman, she's indecisive and outright selective over where that line fits with her. Clients? Relationships? Kim definitely has one of the most interesting storylines going on in the show.
You. Yeah? Werner Ziegler. You ever heard of that guy? Werner Ziegler?
If Kim is the most interesting storyline for me in prequel territory, then Lalo probably comes next. Lalo is very merry, and even when he's unhappy, he's still rather merry. Lalo is clearly being built up as a force to be reckoned with. He seems far more intelligent and calculating than what we've usually seen regarding the Salamancas. It's tricky to guess what big victories might possibly be on the horizon for Lalo, but you just get the feeling that he is destined to get some type of big win in the not-too-distant future. I could be wrong, as we know that Gus ultimately emerges from the Better Call Saul timeline with a greater scope of power and influence. Perhaps Lalo will ultimately become the obstacle that helps Gus and Mike resolve their conflict. Mike has never seemed the wishy-washy type, so for him to ultimately reunite with Gus, which is something we know should happen sooner or later, I think it will take more than a mere change of heart for Mike to just suddenly second-guess himself. That might suggest Lalo as a possible common enemy that helps smooth things over there.
I just want to say hi. I'm a big fan. You know, back in the day when I lived in Albuquerque with my ex, I used to see you everywhere.
Holy shit, it's that guy. And a payphone. If I'm being perfectly honest, the one character story from the show I've always found most captivating was that of Gene. Every year they give us just a little tease of Gene's world in the premiere, and then nothing. No more Gene until next season's premiere. I hope that isn't the case this time, because we got a very strong dose of Gene at the beginning here, and it finally feels like Gene's story reached the point where it better complements Goodman's story. Goodman's all getting his hustle on, and he's giving away free phones to any potential degenerate criminal in the making that he can find. He doesn't want to be associated with the McGill name any longer. He's all in on Saul Goodman, the moment many have long been waiting for. He's here, full force in the making. Meanwhile, Gene is distancing himself from the Goodman name, and he's paranoid and miserable, but he had reason to be paranoid because he gets made. So he calls our old pal Ed, which was a touching cameo appearance that reminded me in many ways of first seeing the Log Lady in Twin Peaks Season 3. So Gene second guesses himself, and he decides he doesn't need the vacuum repair. He'll take matters into his own hands. As Jimmy McGill rejects his identity and assumes the mantle of Saul Goodman, he's empowering himself. For Goodman, this represents a moment of personal triumph where he seized command of his own fate. And he was embracing a part of himself that was always there, where, like Kim, Goodman was indecisive about exactly where that slippin' Jimmy line of morality was for himself. Goodman has now recognized where that line is for him, and he goes all in on becoming Goodman, and he looks thrilled. Has he ever looked happier? As Goodman empowers himself, so too does Gene, where Gene is now embracing his inner Goodman, much like Goodman embraced his inner slippin' Jimmy.
I've changed my mind.
Change your mind.
I'm gonna fix it myself. I thought I was wasting a year of my life. It wasn't a waste. It was for this. This is it.
When did you decide?
Just now, just back there, just boom, it just hit me.
Goodman no longer cares about the line, because being righteous never really paid off for him, whereas running his hustle was almost always beneficial. It seems Gene is making a similar stance here by taking matters into his own hands, and it will be very interesting to see how he intends to handle things. Hopefully, we do not have to wait until Season 6 to get more glimpses into the world of Gene. In conclusion, I thought the Season 5 premiere was perhaps the best episode in the entire series, and I eagerly await Part 2. And just a quick note, the timing is a little bad for me when this show came back for work reasons, so I will not be able to cover episodes 3 and 4 until sometime before episode 5, but I will be back tomorrow with some quick thoughts on episode 2 tonight. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed, and have a wonderful night.
Big reason I became a lawyer was Chuck. He was the most brilliant man I ever knew.
But the truth is, you've never mattered all that much to me.
And you were right. You were right. It was all about Chuck. The whole time. You have taken the opportunity I gave you in the mailroom, and you have run with it, becoming a valued member of the HHM family.
They dangle these things in front of you. They tell you you got a chance, but I'm sorry, it's a lie.
But I was a fool, playing by the rules.
Remember, the winner takes it all.
Wait, Jimmy, what?
It's all good, man. Kim, I can't go back to being Jimmy McGill.
So you come down and roll around in the dirt. Have some fun with Slippin' Jimmy.
Oh, is it fun? Fun? Let's do it again. I'm just worried about how this reflects on you.
I thought I was wasting a year of my life. It wasn't a waste. It was for this. This is it.
When did you decide?
Just now, just back there, just boom, it just hit me.
You know what? When you're right, you're right. What am I doing cutting prices? Discount is a desperation move. Saul Goodman McGill.
But Kim, we can do it. It'll work.
I'm not scamming my
It
clients.
worked for Mesa Verde.
Jimmy, back off. Let's do it again.
Has anybody been asking about me? You know, I mean, like any customers come to the store looking for me?
I could try. Are you sure that's what you want?
Yeah, I thought about it. Anytime you need me, you just call up Omaha United Cabs. You ask for me. They'll find me no matter where I'm at. Never more than 5 minutes away.
To be clear, you are not going forward with this.
Yeah, I'll see you at home. I'm gonna fix it myself. The winner takes it all. It's all good, man.
There's holmium and helium and hafnium and erbium and phosphorus and francium and fluorine and terbium and manganese and mercury, molybdenum, magnesium, dysprosium and scandium.